organizing group, and he's in German. Well, you can't have it all. Go ahead, Bert.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Thank you, Carla, for inviting me. And once again, I want to say, what a great event. What a great achievement. I had the honor to be with you last year, and I think you tripled the amount of audience, which is absolutely awesome. And therefore, a little applause. So I'm a little bit nervous because my subject is a little bit different, and this is philosophically, and you know, Leo stands already there because he's scared that I speak too much. And but today I promise you it's a very short speech. It's more a plea, it's more a ask for your help. And let's go a little bit into it. I need your cooperation. Would you like to cooperate?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So there are two things to do. The first thing I need from you is I need how can I say that, a certain support. Probably it's a little bit more difficult for the guys or not, I don't know. But I want to ask you, please, at least for the next few minutes, stop thinking. Because I do not believe that our cognitive mind has really the answers. So please stop thinking and start feeling whatever is relevant for you. And the second task, I have to tell you, I'm a simple guy. Do not believe anything I tell you. Do not believe anything. Just find out by yourself whether you like it or not. Because sometimes it sounds a little bit black and white, it's stereotypes, but it's just an opinion. So probably it's an invitation to view the things a little bit different. First of all, I want to introduce myself, and I think this makes us similar to each other. First of all, I'm a human being. And you know why I like this chart? Because I come from big corporate companies, like Nestle or Procter & Gamble, and I remember the days when everybody wants to talk to you, because you work for a big corporation. And then I became self-independent, and it was a very interesting how can I say it, insight to find out what is the value of your name without the brand. Is there any? So I think we are human, and I think the human part is the important part. The second part, I think being an entrepreneur, you know, success in entrepreneurial success is easy. Family success, it's much more difficult. What I learned within the last 27 years, it is probably the proof of something which I was told by one of my teachers. He said, Bert, I tell you what, if you have a happy wife, you will have a happy life. And I totally agree on that. You know, and you know, what is, you know, imagine you are successful in the eyes of society, you come home, you have a lot of cars, money, but she's not happy. You feel like a failure. And therefore, I am very happy to tell you that I am a mass father of 4 with 1 wife, which is, you know, a little bit more difficult than probably having a lot of kids with a lot of wives, obviously. In my business life, like I said, I spent a lot of years in marketing and sales, and I really enjoyed the society here and all the insights. But I tell you, I believe we have to change our minds a little bit, because we are so much into our minds. Everybody explains how a brain works now. Everybody explains what is the impact of advertising, what is the impact of a space, but what is really the most important part. And I want to talk about this important part in 1 second. This is my advertisement slide. I come from Neuromerchandising Group. It's very easy to explain. Again, neuro, it seems to be a buzzword nowadays. I'm not the discoverer of neuromerchandising. It's discovered by my partner Achim Fringes. But it's very easy. We want to understand the human being. And we work with neuroscientists like Professor Gallinat and with evolutionary biologists. Because I believe that the impact of evolution is much bigger than we really know, or we really guess. And the second part, you know, we spent probably in the combination of the team, we spent more than 100 years in retail and especially at the point of sale. So that's it. when we talk about neuromerchandising. And when I talk about point of sale, I think we have two parts again. The space. How can I create a space where people feel well? What is the impact of color? What is the impact of shape, etc., etc.? We started very humble 5 years ago with this neuromerchandising group, and it was very difficult in the first 3 years because everybody of our potential customers said, that's great, but we don't give you any business because we don't know whether it's probably a little bit too risky. I think this is the phenomena, I call it CYA, especially found in management. CYA means cover your ass. So I don't want to make a mistake, so I make the same thing I did all the time. And this is probably smart in terms of keeping your career, but probably not smart in terms of developing something new. Nowadays, I can tell you we have approximately changed 100 stores now in probably 10 different branches. If you want to know something about it, my colleague, partner, and friend Amsterdam is here to tell you about that. I want to focus on this other part, on people. Because I believe, and I'm totally convinced, that business and retail is a part of business is nothing else than the interaction of people. You know, in retail, sometimes we believe that putting product onto a shelf is business. This is nothing. Nowadays, I can purchase online. Why should I go into your store? But this people thing is my subject today. And I believe that business is always connected with people and the quality of the relation. And this is no exception whether you are a person at home or a person in business. The quality of your relation determines the quality of your business. Probably it determines the quality of your life. And when I say that, I want to say you don't care. With everything I heard so far, I think you don't care, and at least I would say probably you don't care enough. For the most important part in business, what is the most important part in business? We say human beings, probably we would say, yeah, we have to take care for our customers. No. You have to take care for your employees. Can you imagine the most beautiful store in the world with unfriendly employees, with unfriendly stuff? Do you believe it can become successful? But with the great stuff, you can make business in any environment.
Bert, stay in the hall.
Right?
Stay here.
Why?
I thought you were where you're going.
No, I want to experience Robin. You know, Leo is always very strict. But I know him for a while now. So this is a little bit the idea. And what do our employees get today? Any ideas? I brought some. What they get, for instance, is anxiety. And when I say this is an invitation, I would like to invite the scientists within the room to make more scientific research in terms of the interpersonal things. Because it doesn't matter whether you have one display more or less. But what is very important to understand, what is the meaning of his face? What does his body language tell me? And you know, when we saw the beautiful presentation of Benny, I tell you, when I shop, especially in a food retail, probably I don't like it so much. But if the checkout lady would give me a smile, I think she likes me, and I come back without any regard. But this is not what I think, this is what I feel, because this is my evolutionary program. And when I talk to my wife or she's complaining, why are you looking to the other girl? I say, I cannot, this is not Bert. This is my evolutionary filter. You know, this is what brought us here as human. We could not survive as a species if we would have lost this ability and this drive. Anxiety means you are probably the professionals. I know that when you are under pressure, what's happening in the brain? You have a shutdown of the prefrontal cortex. Shutdown of the prefrontal cortex means you cannot think. This chart, this fact, cost me several hundred thousands of euros. You know why? I went into my own office with a staff of 30 people with bad mood, because probably it was a Monday or I had some struggle with my wife. And you know what happened? And they told me later, they said, Bert, when you came in with a bad mood, we stopped working because we were so scared. Anxiety means a release of cortisol. And cortisol is a stress hormone. And what we learned, and I'm very glad about this, we learned that our brain is not a computer. It is not based on electricity, it works with biochemistry. And when you have a lot of cortisol in your blood, it's perfect for survival. In front of a silver-toothed tiger, you need that to fight, to flight, or to make yourself invisible. But at a desk, how can you expect creativity or support from your employees when they are under pressure? What happens with your brain when you are under pressure? It shuts down. And this is not a bad intention of an employee, this is biology. And therefore it's so interesting to think a little bit about the biological dimension of human beings. So anxiety is something which is, you know, probably you are aware about Gallup. Gallup is the US researchers. They measure every year the, how can I say that, the motivational state of the employees within the business. I can tell you in Germany, we only have 15% of people, employees, who have a highly identification with their employer. 15%, since years. And the other 15% on the lower side, I would say they hate their job. They are happy when the company suffers. And the biggest threat for the company is the people who are invisible. And normally when I talk to business people, I ask you, how many of your employees are the invisibles? How can you find them? These are the ones who say, thanks God it's Friday. Next year I have 2 days more off. And when I'm 60, when I'm retired, you know, then I start living. One day after their 60th birthday, they die. Hopefully not. But you know, this can be the case. There is a big, interesting research. May I go a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware? Are you aware about Whitehall studies? Whitehall did a great UK study with 15,000 employees between the year 1985 and 2000. What they found out briefly, when people have no control in what they are doing, they call it no job control, the heart diseases are 8% higher than in the other group who have control in their job. You know, it is crazy. We live in a crazy world because work kills. We kill ourselves. We kill ourselves with doing what we don't like to do. 80% more heart disease. And you know, sometimes when you talk about the language, we use the same words. You have a broken heart, yeah, and you have a broken bone. And things are really, really threatening. Less appreciation. You know what's happening if you do not appreciate the work of your colleague? It's like destroying. Not appreciating is like destroying. It would mean I go there and I take all this work and I just throw it away. I destroy it. It's the same impact. Appreciation. Sometimes, you know, when I have discussions with entrepreneurs, they tell me, can you talk to my salespeople? And I said, yes, I can. Why? Yeah, they are crap. They are not good. And sometimes when I'm very brave, I tell the entrepreneur, can I talk to you first? Because, you know, something happens for a reason. What do they need? What do humans need? I think we need esteem. You are really, we heard a lot about Dan Ariely, one of the great minds in neuroscience. Dan Ariely did a lot of research in esteem and appreciation. Just to make it briefly, you can triple the amount of commitment by appreciating. Triple the amount. Just say, well done. And you know what we do normally? We look on the weaknesses. And I said, this is stupid. Everybody has certain weaknesses, even I do. But I can compensate my weakness in a team of others, and I can focus on my strengths. Belonging, I think this is the biggest marketing challenge, because I do believe that big brands don't sell any products. You know, we talk a lot about Apple or Nespresso or whatever it is. It is irrational to buy these kind of products. They don't sell any product. They sell membership in lifestyle clubs. It's a belonging. You know, sometimes I make a little test and I tell my clients, let's go in front of an espresso store and let's watch the consumer when they come out and take a look how they hold their bag of Nespresso. They hold it like this, because now I'm George Clooney. Now I'm irresistible. Now I'm the coolest guy in the city. And then I say, let's do the same test in front of a discounter, Lidl or Aldi. Look how they carry their bag. It's not here, it's like that. You know, you see there is probably something different, a different motivator. Belonging is like medication, because belonging releases oxytocin. When you have oxytocin, it gives you a lot of security, especially in times of high insecurity. So the belonging is so strong, and therefore, you know, a baby, what does a baby, if he or she misses the belonging? It starts crying. It starts crying, and then you can give him a hug or cuddle or whatever. What are your employees doing when they don't get enough belonging? Are they crying? Or they're just swallowing their I don't know, their anger and pain? It's really, it's interesting, because what they found out, no belonging activates at the DACC area in the brain, and this is the area which is responsible for pain. Not being a part of a group is like physical pain. You heard about this mobbing or bullying stuff. This is the most awful thing that can happen. And you as leaders, you have to take care that everybody belongs to the team. Grow and excel. Grow and excel. This is fantastic. You know, when you offer a baby chocolate or Lego bricks, they would probably go for Lego bricks. We learned this yesterday. And I totally agree, Walter, this was fantastic. I'm still amazed by your presentation. But this is also biology. Watch the little toddlers, what they do. They put everything in their mouths, they try to experience everything. And this is so fantastic. And this is something which is so important, because probably in the 80s or 90s we believed the brain is something which is delivered with birth, and then, okay, you have that brain and you have to deal with it. Now we found out that there is something which they call neuroplasticity. Your brain can grow. You can generate new neurons, but only if you grow, if you have the opportunity to experience, to excel. And you need this one element, which I call passion. Passion makes it. And this is neuroplasticity. And Professor Dr. Hüter, one of the German neuroscientists I really admire, he said, it's not only neuroplasticity, it's a biological or neurobiological need. It's a neurobiological need to grow and excel. You know probably this American statement, use it or lose it. So if you don't use it, you will lose it. So this is the beauty of this. And there is a nice research from Ellen Langer from Harvard University. And now this is probably to grab your attention. I can tell you how you can get older. Because they made a nice experiment in a retirement area. They said they had two groups of people. The one group, they said, you don't have to care for anything, because there is enough service, don't care, we take care. And the other group, they said, you have to prepare your food, you have to do certain activities, you have to take responsibility. And you know what happened on a long time? The mortality rate from the ones who were active was 50% less than the others. Isn't that amazing? 50% less. And you see that sometimes if people retire and they don't have anything, you know, where they are interested. I know a lot of CEOs who retire already in our age probably, they go golfing. Monday to Saturday, and sometimes on Sundays. And in the weekend. After 1 year, you still have some common ground to talk. After 2 years, you cannot talk with them, except of golfing. And I said, I don't want to talk about golfing, I want to talk about neuroscience. And they say, what's that? And trust, I will make it. This is very important for us. Trust, or I would call it a belief. You have to believe into your own abilities. And this is also something I would like to suggest, that we have to empower people. We have to remind our employees about their uniqueness. Biology is a Greek word made out of two parts. Bios, it's the life, and logos, it's the logic. And biology means the logic of life. The logic of life is creating uniqueness. Everybody of you is unique. Are you aware about your uniqueness? Do you live according to your unique talents? Do you believe in the glass half full or glass half empty? And I can tell you there is another research from Mr. Gollwitzer. If you have an I will make it, if you believe there is a threat, but you know I will make it because I did it last time, it increases your result in a positive way about 50%. So, employees first. In Germany we still talk about personal cost. Personal is like commodity. I want to invite you to talk about personal quality. Because when you take care for your employees, they will take care for your customers. And this is the new formula. I say a happy staff makes happy customers and they make happy bosses. Not the other way around, because normally you say you have to be more effective. Damn. And this is my promise normally. I promise you 25% more sales only through friendliness. Do you believe that? I said don't believe anything. But when I talk about retailers, everybody said, yes, this is even more. You know, you talk about research generating 2 or 3%. Forget it. Bring a smile into the face of your employees. That's all you need. Because I want to be surrounded with friendly people. And I can tell you there is something. This is a universal language. Our face is a universal language. And we just had a discussion during lunch. The face and the body language is universal. The gestures are very cultural. Normally I say the Italians do like this. Huh? I do not have the money, normally not. But I think this is an opportunity for you to make a lot of money. How to begin? This is the practical part. I'm nearly at the end.
Really?
Yeah. How to begin? Do we have any Greeks in the audience? Oh, you are Greek? So can I ask you for your help? Because I hope that I did it right. Because how to begin? I went to Greece and I asked this, you know, how do you say that in Delphi there is this famous temple. And I asked what is the truth, and I prayed to this, how do you say that, not the miracle of Delphi, the temple. Yeah. And I found something written there. And I think it is this. Is this great?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Knowing yourself.
Knowing yourself. Thank you. Thank you. This was great. The first time that I had a Greek in the audience. You know what I tell you is that knowing yourself means start with a woman or the man in the mirror. Because if you don't like what you do, how could your employees like what they do? If you don't like what you do, you should stop it. Sometimes it's a big, how can I say that, a big, a wonderful opportunity when you lose your job. Then you have time to think about what you really want to do. Start with the man in the mirror. And you know, even a guy like Steve Jobs, he said, when you look in the mirror for a certain period of time, let me say 30 or 60 days, and every day you wake up and I said, I hate this. You have two opportunities. You can change what you are doing, or when you cannot do that, you can change your mind. You can change probably what you think about you do. And so you can become a role model for the world. And sometimes I say, if you want to do it, if you do not want to do it for yourself, because you think, no, I'm too old, why should I do that? I think it sounds okay, but I don't want to change. We learned that, just that we don't want to have new things, we don't want to change. Do it for your children. We are the role models of the world. And it was very interesting, if I may say that, when I had a speech in Tajikistan, and these people had 30 years influence of Soviet Republic, they were very tensed. And I said, why are you so tensed? My Buddhist monk always say, we are born soft. Be like water. And we die because we are so stiff, so hard. And this is why we die. And this is become a role model. And I can tell you, your children want to have happy adults, happy fathers, happy mothers. Otherwise, probably they feel guilty. So, my final chart, I would like to invite you to help us to build a bridge between business and humanity. And I do not believe in coincidence. And you know what happened? 2 hours ago, I received the quote from the Dalai Lama. And I thought I'd make a chart out of this, because this was given from there. And you know, you can read it, what the Dalai Lama said. He said, compassion reduces our fear. I would say, yes. Boosts our confidence and opens us to inner strength. By reducing distrust, it opens us to others, brings us a sense of connection with them, and a sense of purpose and meaning in life. Thank you for your patience. This was my promise to Leo to be in time.
Well, give me a hug. Okay, we have a break for half an hour. So,
No.
drink a cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette, well, I will do. Go to the toilet or whatever, and I'll see you back within half an hour, guys. Okay?
Girls.
Thank you.